How's it going, everybody? My name is Lucky Buns, and in today's video we're going to be going over the final event details for May, which have just been revealed. In this video we're going to be covering the Catching Wonders event, Bounsweet Community Day, and the Ultra Space Wonders event. Timestamps are going to be linked down below as always, so if you guys are watching this later on during the month, just skip ahead to the relevant information. Now before we jump into the Catching Wonders event, let's go over the current season bonuses. These are going to be really important, and there's really only one bonus I want to go over. That's going to be the 2 free raid passes each day, plus increased damage when raiding with friends. So the reason why this is so important is because we're going to have really good raids at the end of the month, and you don't really want to use your premium passes, but because we have 2 free raid passes every single day, this is a good time to take advantage of those. Anyways, with that being said, let's move on over to the Catching Wonders event, which is going to take place from May 14th at 10 AM to May 19th at 8 PM local time. Now, as far as the bonuses go, there isn't really much going on here. We're going to get 10 times experience on our first catch of the day, as well as our first spin of the day. We're also going to be getting 5 times Stardust on our first catch of the day, and that's basically it outside of the Master Ball special research. So basically we're just going to be talking about the Master Ball right now. So we're going to be getting our 3rd special research for the Master Ball. Seems like they're releasing these at least every other season, which is kind of nice. So I would say about 2 Master Balls a year, which is pretty good. Now the research steps have been revealed, so let's take a look at them right now. So first of all, on page 1, we're going to have to catch 250 Pokemon, use 150 berries to help catch Pokemon, and then make 100 nice curveball throws. Not that difficult, but definitely time consuming. Also, I want to mention that this special research quest will not expire as long as you guys claim it before May 19, and I guarantee some players are going to get really upset that the quest is like super difficult, but that's like the whole entire point of a masterwork research. Like the Master Ball isn't just a basic item, it's a super good item in game. It's a very rare item to get, so yeah, you're gonna have to work hard for it, and honestly so far it hasn't even seemed that crazy. Let's move on over to step number 2 though, which is going to be to catch 300 Pokemon, make 100 great curveball throws, and transfer 50 Pokemon. Again, not really that crazy. I mean, it's just more time consuming than anything else. Now for page 3, we're gonna have to catch 350 Pokemon, defeat 25 Team Go Rocket members, and catch 75 different species of Pokemon. That last one right there is definitely going to be time consuming. That's going to have to be spread out over a few events for sure. Now for the final page, we're going to have to visit Pokestops on 7 different days, as well as catch a Pokemon in 7 different days, but thankfully that is not consecutively. Catching a Pokemon consecutively for 7 days is much easier, but spinning a Pokestop for 7 days, like if you don't live near anything like I do, that is an actual nightmare. Like I believe I'm still stuck on the Jirachi Masterwork research because I have to spin a Pokestop 14 days in a row. If I'm lucky, I maybe get to like 3 or 4 days in a row, but thankfully this research is not requiring that. So yeah, just 7 different days. You have to hatch 20 eggs, which is kind of a lot for a free-to-play player. Catch 75 Pokemon in a single day. That's not that difficult. Like if you guys are struggling to catch that many Pokemon in a single day, just go out for a calm day and it should be pretty easy to get done, or even a spotlight hour. You also have to make 50 excellent throws and catch 500 Pokemon. So the best way to get the excellent throws done, I would imagine, would just be from the legendary raids, which we're going to have some pretty good raids at the end of this month, and again we'll talk about those later on in this video. But yeah, those excellent throws shouldn't be that bad. Just use the circle lock method if you're not that good with excellent throws, or you can use the freehand method. I do have some different videos that go over how to actually do this a little bit better, so I'm going to leave those linked down below. Check them out if you do need help with excellent throws. And then of course your reward is going to be a Master Ball, a very exclusive item in Pokemon Go, something that should not be wasted. Now just for fun, I actually ran a poll on the channel about a week ago asking you guys what you would use your Master Ball on, and about 28% of you said that you would use it on a Galarian bird, 27% of you said that you would use it on a 100% IV Legendary, and 45% of you said that you would let it sit in your bag. So that's kind of where I fall as well. I think the 100% IV Legendary is definitely more worthy than the Galarian bird. Like, I don't know, for some reason everyone is just convinced because Galarian birds are so hard to catch that it's worth using your Master Ball on them, but in my opinion, I just don't really agree with that. I mean, like, yeah, you can catch a Galarian bird, but what are you going to use it for? Like, none of the Galarian birds are actually useful in raids, and maybe, like, I think Zapdos might be useful in PvP, but you have to get the right IV spread, and you don't even know the IVs when you're catching these Galarian birds, so it's a complete, like, shot in the dark. Now, in my opinion, I definitely stand with either the last 2 categories. Either use it on 100% IV Legendary Pokemon, or just let it sit in your bag for something better. I mean, we don't know what's going to come in Pokemon Go in the future. Like, it's very much an unknown factor, so there definitely could be something better that is worth saving your Master Ball for, and, you know, I think for many of us who even play the main series games, this is probably something that we always do. We always hold our Master Ball for something that's really, really special, but ultimately we end up catching everything else just normally. I think a lot of people definitely fall into that category, myself included, but I think one category that I forgot to mention on this poll was accidental usage, right? So many people, I see this all the time on the Pokemon Go subreddit, so many people, either their kids accidentally use their Master Ball or they accidentally use their Master Ball. You do get a warning before you use your Master Ball. I think you even get like 2 warnings. So it's really difficult to accidentally use it unless somebody else is on your account and then just decides to use it for you. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you have kids, just be careful with them playing on your phone because they could accidentally use your Master Ball and that would really suck. That being said though, I mean, it does seem like we're getting at least 2 Master Balls every single year, so if you accidentally use it or if you waste it on the wrong thing, or hell, even if you catch them all with Galarian birds, I mean, you'll still get another one in the future most likely. So for that reason, I think a lot of people are justifying using their Master Ball on the Galarian birds, but in my opinion, guys, I believe that the Galarian birds are eventually going to get their time in raid battles. I mean, at some point, right, we got to get their shiny forms. And I could be wrong about that. Maybe they'll just keep them in the daily adventure Incense, which I think would be a better thing for the game. I've actually encountered a few 100% IV legendaries myself over the course of playing this game for the past 8 years, and to be honest, like, there have been some times when I've actually thought I wasn't going to catch it. And I've seen many people get down to the last ball and catch it or even have it run away. It's a really unfortunate scenario if you get down to the last ball on 100% IV legendary and you can't actually catch it, so I think keeping your Master Ball for that is the best use of it, but that's just my opinion. Let me know your own thoughts in the comment section down below. Now we are going to have some Pokemon featured in raid battles that I want to go over during this event. The first one is going to be Regirock, which is going to be available from May 16th to May 23rd. This is a pretty good Pokemon for the Open Ultra League and PvP. There's also no exclusive moves required. The only thing that you really have to do is you have to trade with somebody else to get a better IV spread for PvP. Like, typically it wouldn't make sense to power up one that you just caught from raids, because if you trade it with somebody even at like best friends, you can get as low as 5 attack. So something like 5 attack, 15 defense, and like, I don't know, 14 HP or 15 HP, that would be a lot more ideal than, you know, your best IV spread from raids, which would be 10, 15, 15. Now I know some of you guys might disagree that you need to have optimal IVs for these legendary Pokemon in PvP, but again, like, if you're gonna invest that many resources into a Pokemon, you ideally want to have a pretty good IV spread. Doesn't have to be like the best IV spread, but ideally something better than what you would get from raids with a floor of 10, 10, 10. That's just my opinion on it though. You guys can agree or disagree in the comment section down below. Either way, Regirock is definitely a good Pokemon to raid for the Open Ultra League. Now we do also have Mega Gyarados as well, which is going to be available from the same time period, May 16th to May 23rd. In terms of viable Mega Pokemon, this Pokemon does fall below Primal Kyogre and Mega Swampert in the Water type category for the raid/gym meta. It also falls below Mega Tyranitar and Mega Houndoom in the Dark type category, so it's not really like the best Pokemon, but it doesn't mean that Mega Gyarados is actually bad. It's a pretty solid Pokemon. Even if you don't use it for battle, the typing bonuses are amazing because it covers both dark and both water types. So make sure you grab enough energy on it if you don't have enough already, as it is a bit more expensive than most Megas to evolve for the first time, but absolutely one that is worth getting to Mega Level 3 over time. So with that being said, let's move on over to our next event, which is going to be Bounsweet Community on May 19th from 2 to 5 p.m. local time. Now as far as the bonuses go, we're going to have a boosted shiny rate of 1 out of 25 like normal. We're also going to have 3-hour lure modules and Incense. The special bonus is going to be 1/4 incubator distance, so not really the greatest special bonus. That being said though, we're also going to have 2 times catch candy as well as a 2 times chance to receive extra large candy from catching Pokemon if you're level 31 or higher. We're going to have an extra special trade for a total of 2 special trades and also 50% less Stardust when trading Pokemon. You're going to get 5 free Bounsweet from Snapshots, and then we're also going to have an Ultra Community Day box in the web store for $5. This is going to give you 10 Ultra Balls, 1 Elite Charge TM, and a Bounsweet Com Day special research ticket, so definitely worth the value in my opinion if you guys do like to spend money on this game. And then finally, the special move on Bounsweet when evolved into Serena is going to be High Jump Kick, which is a fighting type move for PvP mostly. Now I am kind of surprised that Serena didn't get Trop Kick, which is actually a signature move. This might have actually given it a nice buff in the raid/gym meta, but without it, it's not really that great. So this is mainly just a PvP Pokemon, and that's why I didn't really want to make a separate video going over this. There isn't really that much to say about it. Now if there's anything that I've actually learned, it's better to hunt for good IV spreads during the comm day and then just keep it empowered up later when you actually need it. I actually have a whole search tag dedicated to just doing this, and one specifically for Pokemon I decided I wanted to start powering up when they were actually meta relevant, or just because I wanted to power it up for whatever reason. So basically I just recommend getting your PvP IV spreads and a few shinies and pretty much just calling it a day. You could probably get that all done in like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Now as always guys, I'd like to go through some additional tips and tricks to help you guys out with the comm day. This is mainly focused for new and returning players, but for veteran players there are some things in here for you as well. Alright, so first up, the fast catch trick. Most of you probably already know how to do this by now, but for those of you who don't, I do highly recommend learning to increase your catching speed. If you ever wonder how some players catch so many Pokemon during the event, this is how they're doing it. Now because this comm day is mainly just PvP focused and there's really no like raid relevance in here, you just need to use the PvP search string on screen right now. Now I'm gonna go ahead and leave this in the description down below as well, so you guys can just copy and paste this. I have been asked about this in the past, so I just feel like it would just be more helpful to you guys. That's basically all that you need to use though. Just use this search string, find anything that has good IVs for PvP, save a couple of them, you know, if you got all your shinies, and that's basically all you need to do for this calm day. Now for this Pokemon specifically, you're probably not going to take it to level 50. Maybe some of you guys will. In that case, if you want to actually grind this one out for all the extra large candy, not that I recommend doing it, the best Mega Evolutions to go with during this event are going to be Mega Venusaur, Mega Sceptile, Mega Abomasnow, and Primal Groudon. Those will all benefit as a grass type boost. Whichever one of these you guys have at Mega level 3, prioritize that one over the others for increased candy and extra large candy. Next up, let's talk about storage space. So generally, I recommend a minimum of 100 open spots and ideally 250 plus. To be honest, you're probably not going to need that many during this calm day since it's a pretty basic one, but if you guys are still having trouble, you know, just kind of clearing up space, I do highly recommend checking out my full storage management guide. It's going to be linked down below. Now, as far as your backspace goes, I recommend having a minimum of 200 red, grid, and ultra balls and ideally 500 plus. And if you guys really don't have that much time to play during the calm day, I also recommend pineapple berries as well. Anywhere from 25 to 50 should get the job done. Now, for those of you guys out there who struggle to do the Shadow Legendary raids, after calm day is probably one of the best times to do this because you're actually going to have players already out playing the game, and it's a lot easier to get groups together if you already have people just playing in your local area. The biggest difficulty with Shadow Legendary raids, and even just Shadow raids in general, is the fact that they can only be done in person. You can't send anybody remote raids for them, so the only way to do them is pretty much after a big event like this. The next tip I have for you guys is to hunt in Pokestop dense areas and or cluster spawns, so typically like parking lots, grocery stores, superstores like Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco, etc. Just places like that. School campuses are also really good, like college campuses, I mean, not like regular school campuses. College campuses are also really good for this, and yeah, that's typically where you want to play if you guys want to actually get a lot of spawns throughout the event. Now, the special bonus of this event is going to be 1/4 incubator distance, and the best way to actually take advantage of this bonus is to incubate your highest distance eggs once the event starts. Do not incubate anything until after 2 p.m. So for example, I like to incubate my 10 or my 12 kilometer eggs, but I typically don't incubate my 2 or my 5 kilometer eggs because I just don't really feel like that's worth it. Now, for those of you out there who are trying to get your breeder medal on platinum, then you can incubate all of your eggs, but I don't really recommend this since incubators are kind of expensive and most of the time you don't end up getting anything good. Now, we do have 2 more medals to go over. The next one is going to be the Pokemon Ranger medal, the research medal. Typically the research tasks during calm days are fairly easy to complete, but it's also really easy to forget about your research tasks as you just kind of focus on catching most of the time. So make sure that you go through and you clear your research before the event starts first of all, and then check them about every 5 to 10 minutes if you guys are around a lot of Pokestops. You can also run away from the Pokemon encounters as well, and you can stack these up to 100 in your research stack, which is really, really nice. Now finally, my last tip is going to be for the Picnicker medal. Basically, you just want to drop lure modules at your most popular grind spot right when the event starts at 2 p.m. Basically, the way that this works is that you get 1 point every single time somebody else catches a Pokemon off your lure module, and in the right location, you can make some amazing progress, especially since your lure modules are going to last 3 hours long. That being said though, that's basically everything I have for you guys in regards to Bounsweet Calm Day. Best of luck getting your shinies and some good PvP IV spreads. Now finally, let's go over our last event, which is going to be the Ultra Space Wonders event from May 23rd at 10 a.m. to May 28th at 8 p.m. local time. This is going to unlock the final pages of the special research for the World of Wonders. Poipole is finally going to get its evolution into Noggin, which is going to cost 200 candy, but I'm pretty sure you're going to get most of the candy from the research once you complete it. For any remaining candy, just use your rare candy. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Now, this is supposed to be a really good poison type in game, but Nihilego is still going to be the king of poison types. So basically, as a unique poison type option, I'm personally going to be powering up 1 to level 40 since I ended up getting a good IV spread when I did a mirror trade for this Pokemon. I think that's the best way to actually get better IVs on your Poipole, so if you didn't end up getting a good IV spread on your Poipole, try to mirror trade it, and then at the very least, it's going to cost you half the Stardust to power it up, which honestly, I think that's totally worth it. Next up, let's go over the featured Ultra Beasts that we're going to have in raid battles, specifically in the Eastern and Western hemispheres. So we're going to get 2 times experience from these raid battles as well. That's only from the Ultra Beast raid battles. I also want to say thank you to everyone that helped me with the pronunciations for these. I believe I have them down now. So it's going to be Stakataka and Blacephalon. So let's go over Blacephalon first. This is going to be meta relevant as both a fire type attacker as well as a ghost type attacker. It's essentially like an upgraded Chandelure, and it's also going to get access to signature movesets in the future as well. So definitely exciting for Blacephalon. Now, like most raid bosses during their first rotation, I typically don't recommend going hard on this one. Wait until the shiny gets released as well as signature moves, because that is going to be the optimal time to spend the extra rate passes. Next up, let's go over Stakataka, which is going to be available in the Eastern Hemisphere. So in terms of this one, it is a rock type focused attacker, but it really sucks in the raid/gym meta. It's most likely going to be utilized in the PvP meta. That being said though, it is still a little bit too early to tell how good it's going to end up being since PvPoke has not added the information to their website yet. Now, just like Blacephalon though, I wouldn't use more than your free passes on this because again, we're going to get the shiny form later on in the future. That's ideally when you want to go hard for this Pokemon, but not really right now, and especially not because we don't know how good it's going to be in PvP. Now, with that being said, if you guys don't have that many players in your local area, I do highly recommend using Pokegenie to host your raids and get raid support. It is seriously such a game changer. I kind of forgot to mention this as well, but I'll go over it anyways. We do also have a Mega Pokemon feature during this same rotation that's going to be Mega Pidgeot, so if you guys don't have Mega Rayquaza, this is going to be your next best option for a flying type mega, and it is also going to be super budget, and it also has Ultra League relevance with Wing Attack. Now on top of all of that, Mega Pidgeot is also one of the cheapest Mega Pokemon to Mega Evolve, so in between cooldowns and stuff, it really doesn't cost anything. So getting to Mega level 3 should be really quick on this guy. Honestly, just do like 3 or 4 raids and you're pretty much going to be set to just Mega Evolve it every single day and get Mega level 3 in like a month. Pidgeot is like one of the few Pokemon where you can actually do that. And then what's really cool about that is that Pidgeot is actually a dual typing, a flying type and normal type Pokemon, which is a fantastic combo to use during certain events when you're going to be candy grinding. Now there is going to be a shiny debut during this event as well. That's going to be for the Pokemon Mareanie, which is also going to have a Spotlight Hour on May 28th, with the special bonus being 2x catch experience. Now this Pokemon, one of all the Toxapex, is also really good in the Open Great League, so it's going to be a fantastic event, guys, to actually go out there and get a good IV spread on this Pokemon. Now if you guys are going to be shiny hunting, I do recommend to use the Fast Catch trick, as you're going to go through them incredibly fast. Now with that being said, this Pokemon is going to be a full odds shiny, but with increased spawns during Spotlight Hour, there is a high chance you're going to encounter one. So on top of the Fast Catch trick, I do also recommend dropping an Incense and make sure that you guys are moving at a decent pace to fully take advantage of that Incense. I've also been hearing of players like taking the bus in their local area, which goes slow enough to actually pick up spawns along the way. So if you guys don't actually have a car to drive around and go from cluster to cluster, then consider doing this as well if it is safe in your city. We do actually have one more event to go over, but I can't really go over it because the event details have not been announced, and that is going to be for the Incense Day, which is going to be on May 26th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time. We have no idea what this Pokemon is going to be. I'll take predictions in the comment section down below, but other than that, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap things up for this one. If you guys still want to check out some more content, watch these videos right here, but before you go, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all real soon in the next one.